this presentation, I am going to talk about what emerging information designers need to know about the technology of image file formats. I will talk about the most commonly used image file formats, but first, I want to explain why it's important to keep in mind some basic distinctions when making decisions about which image file formats to use in different situations. Keeping in mind these basic principles, it may be easier to appreciate the distinctions between the major image file formats, which are raster file formats and vector file formats. All captured images of anything in the real world are raw image files. All digital cameras and scanners are raster image capturing devices and have a fixed number of pixels they can capture in one image. When we are talking about professional grade cameras, those numbers can be impressive. The number of pixels in an image are finite, and the maximum number of pixels in an image is dependent upon the device that captured the image. When it comes to images, pixels are one of two possible starting points. Pixels are the raw materials of one of two kinds of images. Much of the technology in those cameras is proprietary, and so are their file formats. That puts raw image files in a class of their own. So I won't be talking about raw image files in this presentation. Native files are files that either have been created by or have been altered by a software application. Examples of native files would be Photoshop files, Adobe Illustrator files, and Excel files. Those image files are also in a special category, and like raw image files, native files also have their own proprietary file formats. So I also won't be talking about native file formats. Color modes, RGB versus CMYK. When we are looking at a screen, any screen, what we are seeing are RGB colors, red, green, and blue. Those additive colors are the only colors available to all screen devices. Digital screens can produce over 16 million different shades of color. When we are looking at a printed image, we are looking at CMYK colors. Printed images are created by mixing the four colors available to printers, which are cyan, magenta, yellow, and black. When these subtractive colors are mixed, they can only produce a maximum of about 16,000 different shades of color. When comparing the two modes, RGB will produce smaller file sizes than CMYK. Images for printing require larger file sizes than images for the web. Knowing the basic distinctions between RGB and CMYK can often influence the choice of which file format to save a document in. So what does compression have to do with it? The resolution of an image can be changed by using a number of different techniques, and that resolution can be changed without affecting the number of pixels in an image or even the file size. However, the actual size of the image would change. That's where compression comes in. Image compression is either lossy, which refers to the loss of data, or lossless. Lossless compression is extremely important for people who work in healthcare fields, for example. While it may be important to reduce the file size for transmission or storage purposes, it may also be important that those files not be stripped of any data or any metadata while those files are being compressed. So, raster versus vector. Now that I've covered those basic principles about images, I hope that it is easy to see not only that every image that you see online and every image that you see on a sheet of paper or on any other medium started out as some kind of image file with properties that, when combined, characterize it and can be used to place it in a category. There are many different kinds of image file formats, but there are only two basic categories that all image files start out as, and therefore, for all intents and purposes, belong to. At its core, an image is either a raster image or it is a vector image. All pixel-based images are raster images, and they are all resolution dependent. Each square pixel in a raster image has its own color. Raster images are grids. The squares in the grids are called pixels. Vector images do not have pixels, and vector images are resolution independent. Vector images are created by mathematically manipulating lines, curves, and geometric shapes. Because all vector images are mathematical equations, they can be decreased or increased in size without affecting them in any other way. All file formats are optimized for special uses. Choosing the wrong file format for an image file or for a desired purpose can produce unexpected or undesirable results. So I'm ending the presentation with an image file format guide, which I hope will be useful.